Here, it's here. Let's take this leash off you guys.
Alright, let's think that before we open the door. Alright, check this out. So this is right by our place. They're demolishing everything. And they're gonna build something new here. All the businesses are closed. It's kind of crazy. Here's our U-Haul from behind. And Manny's taking shotgun with me a little bit. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen Noelle, and in this video, I'm gonna be doing something a little bit differently, and that's because so many of you guys have requested on Instagram, and if you haven't been following me in my Instagram yet, make sure you do so now, because you guys have been wanting to know why we moved out of California. So in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you different reasons why we personally moved out of California. And one more thing before I start, I noticed that most of you guys that watch my videos are not even subscribed to me. So what the heck? So make sure you subscribe to my channel so that, you know, the stats, it evens out. So the very first reason why we moved out of California is because you get more bang for your buck outside of California. I mean, let me just give you a quick comparison. So we used to pay close to $2,000 for our one bedroom in West Hollywood. And that's literally the same amount that we pay now for our 5-bedroom place in Arizona. Ding, 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 you just figured out where we moved to. So yeah, think about it, right? A 1-bedroom in LA compared to a 5-bedroom in Arizona. I mean, it's just insane, the difference that you can get from one city to another. And again, I totally get that California has its pros. In this video later on, I'm gonna share with you some pros and cons that I think that California has and why you should be living in California, especially if you are in the movie industry or the entertainment industry. But I also think that you can pretty much do anything even if you don't live in California. Okay, so again, like I said, you get much more bang for your buck living outside of California. And what's crazy is that literally my fiance and I got here and we went out for dinner and the bill was like 40 bucks compared to if we were to have dinner in California, that would be like $60 to $70. And we were just like so shocked because of the difference. Like we feel like kings and queens living here. So again, like you can get so much more for your money living outside of California. And here's the thing, like I was born and raised in California. Check this out, I did leave California. So after I went to university, I graduated. I actually lived 3 years in a foreign country called Armenia. I was a Peace Corps volunteer. I spent 3 years of my life serving people in that country. I made a lot of friends there. I traveled, I backpacked, so I did all of those different things. And so it's not like I was born and raised and all I did was live in California. I've definitely moved before and experienced the world. And it's interesting because when you are living in California or in LA, you almost feel like you're in a bubble, right? Like LA has its own culture and there are certain things about LA that I love, but especially if you're in my situation or our situation where I work from home, I work for myself, same with my fiance, we both are business owners and we have the choice to actually get up and leave and go anywhere we want. It doesn't make sense logically for us to live in a state that is not only have high taxes, like California has one of the highest income taxes. It's insane. All taxes, actually. It doesn't make sense for us to pay so much in taxes as well as pay for a premium when you don't really get the premium. I will talk about that as our third reason. But just because you're paying top dollar to live in California doesn't really mean that you're really getting top stuff, right? So that is really our number one biggest reason, is that we did not know why we were paying so much like for rent when we can actually own a house, invest in some properties here, as well as really grow our family and have enough space so that 2 of our dogs can be running around, being happy, and just be able to be dogs and run around and do all the stuff that dogs do. So number one reason, like I said, is that you get more bang for your buck. Babe, what did you say?
Everyone's making a moving out of California video.
And
people are watching it.
That's exactly why I'm making this video.
Exactly, yeah. People want to know. People maybe wanting to move to California, they want to know what's going on. Why are people leaving? And other people just want to just validate why they're leaving. So like, oh yeah, that person's leaving for the same reason I'm leaving.
He's trying to ruin my video right now. All right, let me just continue what I was saying.
Oh.
Okay, so second reason as to why we decided to move out of California is because of the ample space that we get outside of California. So let me show you what I'm talking about. First of all, not everyone is making a video as to why they're moving out of California, babe. Okay, so essentially being like born and raised in, LA and going to school in LA, I realized that there's actually not a lot of space in LA. It's really dense. There's a lot of things going on. LA is such a great city to visit, but I think when you actually live in LA or when you actually live in California, you'll realize that it is so dense. And make sure you subscribe because next week I'm actually going to be talking about human design. And lately, this past year, I've been totally committed to living by my design. And as a projector in the human design system, I am someone that is super sensitive to energy. I would even consider myself an empath. But essentially, when I was living in LA, I just felt like everything was super dense. Everything was as if I was soaking in everyone's energy. And it makes sense. There's a bunch of traffic. When we were living in our 1-bedroom apartment, like once you open the door and even our balcony, the moment you go outside, it's just a wall. And that's because all you can do is build up in California. Same with New York. In big major cities, there's not enough space to build stuff and everyone wants to quote unquote be there. And so obviously there's going to be so much density and just so much energy swirling around. Now this is probably something that no one really talks about, but because I'm all about energy, I'm all about knowing how to energetically live by your design and knowing yourself very well, I knew that I did not thrive in an environment where I was just with other people, like taking on other people's energy all the time. And so like I said, make sure you subscribe to this channel because next week I'm going to be talking and going deep into human design and how you can actually live by your design so that you can thrive, so that you can make more money and be better in your relationships and communicate better. When you follow your design and you live by your design, it just becomes so much better, right? So density. And also too, I forgot to mention this, feng shui purposes, right? So I just talked about this with my students, but when it comes to like good feng shui and good qi, when you open your main door, you personally don't want to face another apartment door, and you also don't want to face a wall. So what I mean by that is in our previous place, our balcony was facing a wall, which means that there's not enough good energy or qi that even gets into our place, our apartment. Whereas when you live in a place that has bigger space, there's enough energy that can flow into your home. There's so much more energy that way, and there's just so much more space. And the difference is huge because now I actually feel like I can breathe. I can take the time to be by myself. I don't feel very constricted. And so really the second reason why we moved out of LA and out of California is because we wanted more space so that we can enjoy something like this. All right, third, but definitely not the last reason we left California is because of the crazy homelessness issue. So I'll be honest with you about something. I do not want my tax dollars to go toward paying for sidewalks when it's covered by people already living there, right? I almost feel like I just don't get it. I honestly do not understand it. And to be honest with you, it's okay. So it's funny, right? Like, I was a Peace Corps volunteer. I spent 3 years of my life helping other people, helping people that had less money than me, that were really needing the help. And the one thing that I learned being a Peace Corps volunteer is that the best way to genuinely help someone is to help them with their mindset. And that is also why I am so passionate in what I do, and why I'm a true believer that if you really want to make a big difference in your life, helping someone is not helping someone at the moment. It's not like giving someone like food to eat. Yes, that's a temporary type of help. So for instance, like the homelessness issue in California is just getting out of hand. There's literally, I couldn't even get out to like get something at night or even in the morning without like feeling very unsafe in my own neighborhood. And especially if you're someone that is trying to raise kids or like want to start a family, it is almost impossible for you to feel safe having your kids walk to school in your neighborhood, especially in LA. I mean, even if you pull out like a Google Maps right now and like look up any street in Los Angeles, you'll see that it's covered with homeless people. And it's a really sad issue. It's definitely an issue that is not addressed enough. And I just think that people don't know what to do with that situation. Again, I am not a homelessness expert. All I can say though, from experience, helping people basically like create their own job opportunities, is that real help comes when you empower people. Real help comes from the mindset. It doesn't come from like a temporary fix. Like it really doesn't. And so for me, I personally felt like, okay, enough is enough. We cannot stay in California, especially with our home and our neighborhood being littered by homeless people that genuinely need the help, and there's no one helping them. It really, really sucks. And really, last but not least, I just feel like California, no offense, and again, this is crazy. Like, I was born and raised in California, and there's a lot of things I love about California, especially if you're thinking about moving to California, right? Like, I'm not saying that like don't move there. I'm just saying that at this moment, it's not for me, right? California, in my opinion, is super controlled. Super, super controlled. I personally feel like it's becoming a very socialist state. There, I said it. And guess what? I just like don't want to participate in that anymore. And instead of complaining about it, which I'm not going to complain about it, I'd rather move out and go to another state. And if you're watching this video, like thinking like, okay, like don't have that happen to this other state, don't worry. Like we don't like the controlling part that we moved away from. So don't worry about that part. So yeah, that is the reasons why the major reasons why we moved out of California, we moved out of LA. We really just needed this for ourselves. Again, we don't know how long we're gonna stay in Arizona. We may stay here for 2 years. We may move somewhere else after 2 years. The great thing about working for yourself and being like a digital nomad, so to speak, is that you can literally pick up and go anywhere, which is why we love what we do. And I hope this video really encourages people to not be a tree, but when if you're feeling unhappy about a certain situation, to actually, you can pick up and move, right? Or you can do something about that situation. Here's our U-Haul.
And how fitting that they gave us the U-Haul.
Yes.
Kids. Future kids. Don't do drugs. Just kidding.
It's plant medicine, babe, not drugs.
It's not drugs. 2020.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, everything's good in there.